What's going on, my fellas, my people, my traders, my holders, my investors? What do you guys got going on this evening? If you're not here watching the live stream, I don't know what you're doing. Today we're going to be doing some altcoin analysis just for you. So if you are here during the live stream, lucky you, you get to suggest an altcoin if you want me to do the analysis on it. We got BTC back here, just to get things started off, do a little talk about BTC. And then we're going to take your altcoins that you're leaving down in the comments. So go ahead and leave your altcoin suggestion in the comments. If you didn't make it to the live stream to get your suggestion in, you can check out my future events. We don't have another altcoin analysis planned just yet. But next time we do have one, if you click subscribe, you'll get a notification for my live streams. And you can come to our 2,500 subscriber giveaway. But first, we need 2,500 subscribers. So shout out my boy Johnny 8. Looks like he's here as a supporter now. He's one of my supporters. So shout out Johnny 8. Thank you so much for your help, brother. It means so much, man. No idea how much it means. I got like 3, 4, 5 supporters now. And it's an incredible feeling that some of you guys are so interested in my content that you want to help out and support. So thank you so much. I'll do my best to keep putting out some good content. Shout out Vitamin Water. No sponsorship yet, but we're still shouting them out because vitamin water's good. We're going to take a drink, some vitamin water, talk about BTC, and then I need you guys to leave some comments. Looks like Lucas is here dropping some rocket ships. Oh, my boy Lucas is blasting off. And then Atong Ivan says, "What's up, brother? Hey, Edward, how you doing?" I'm doing just fine, Atong. What kind of altcoins you want me to look at? Go ahead and leave a suggestion there in the comments while I take a swig of this vitamin water. That's right, vitamin water. We're trying to get sponsored by vitamin water here. The beverage of choice for elite traders. Vitamin water. All right, nice. Oh, man, my other armrest isn't down. All right, nice. So let's go ahead and I'll put my big fat head into the corner. I'm in this corner now. And I'm going to move over this stuff to the side. Let me just clear those real quick. Those are going to bother me. All right, just move this over to the side. We'll do a quick little breakdown on BTC. And until you guys give me some altcoins, I don't have any altcoins to analyze. So I need some altcoins from you guys. That way we can get the altcoins analyzed. Go ahead and drop them in the comments. Shout out Caesar. He's here for a few minutes. Caesar, leave your altcoin. That way I have something to work with, brother. All right, so for Bitcoin, what we got going on here is the break of this bear flag we've seen. If we zoom out just a little bit more, we have a series of bear flags here, downtrending price action. Bitcoin broke out of that bear flag and gave us a new low. It gave us a really extended flag up here. This is a long streamer type flag here. We run into some resistance in this area. Finally start seeing that resistance, and then price breaks through the flag here. So it looks like we got signs of a downtrend here. I just turned that off. You can see that's the 100 EMA. Here I have it set to be yellow whenever it's not in a area of uptrend momentum. As we can see, there's not really any strong upwards indication here that price is going to reverse. Price has a downtrend here being observed by the EMAs. We turn on a couple other indicators here and use them as comparison. It looks like there's a bit of a bearish struggle here. This looks like a bullish uptrend, and technically we don't have a bearish cross yet, but that is accompanied by sideways price action. Generally, if we see an uptrend, we're going to want to, or if we see that the MACD is giving us bullish indications, then we're going to want to see something of an uptrend where prices are forming higher highs and higher lows, but we're not seeing that here. Prices seemingly forming stagnant lows and failing to create higher highs. So it's in a bit of a consolidation range here. We're waiting really for a big breakdown or a bearish cross to signify the breakage of this short-term floor right here, which isn't perfect along that line, but it could be considered a little zone. And this is right around previous all-time high. So this is an important action to take, or an important area of price action to observe. And what is most notable is a downtrend. I mean, until we have some really strong signs of reversal, or until we can see some really strong divergence or something like that, then I wouldn't really bet too hard on the bullish scenario, especially until we break some of these levels. Price isn't just going to shoot, into the moon just like that. It's not going to be some quick turnaround. We have to figure out if this is the bottom yet or not. Some people are saying it is the bottom, We'll see how it works out for him. That's our quick rundown on BTC. And we're going to be looking for some altcoins now. Do my top 3 favorites. Huh. All right, Mr. Caesar. My top 3 favorites. I mean, right here I got, since no one else is going to make any suggestions, guys, I'm going to need some suggestions from you in the audience. So that way we can get some altcoins analyzed. That's what we're here for. So if you have any altcoin that you're just like, hey, you know what? I want Daily Crypto to double check my TA, something you've already charted, and you just want to see how I chart it, whatever, you know. You can just go ahead and drop that altcoin. Even if it's a shit coin, we'll go ahead and take a look at it. But Caesar says, do my top 3. Ricky Spanish says, sorry, a little late. All good. Better late than never. We got Mr. Caesar here. So I'll go through with LTC. Oh, yeah, shout out Ricky Spanish for being a supporter. That boy, I think he won that last week in the stream. I don't really know. Someone gifted it and he claimed it. I don't know how it worked, but it worked. Pretty cool. So we'll go ahead and take a look at LTC. I got some LTC charting right here. And I was waiting on this little formation to break here. We can see I got an upper line and a lower line. Price just shot right back into this. I mean, I don't know. It's not as stagnant as BTC, whereas we could see BTC had that, you know, poke down and just dropped down pretty significantly in the last 2 hours. Right here. Well, this is the 4-hour candlestick, so this is a big red candlestick. But then if we go back to the LTC time frame, we had a big green candlestick, and then this is just like a little pullback. It's actually popped over the 200 EMA again on the 4H time frame. So LTC is being a little bit funny right now. I don't know if we can play this exact formation. I'd probably like have to do something like this along these lines and then play it out like here, because this is another low, and that's pretty valid. You know, price hasn't formed lower than that. So something along these lines for LTC. As far as immediate price action goes, this is going to be an area of resistance right here. Right now, about where it's at, honestly. If you want to drag this down here, even to these points, I mean, we can see the price, as it's ascending, it's going to create higher highs here, so that's naturally giving us the range. And I hope it's not too huge, because I don't like to use too much of a range on there. It's 8%. It's not terrible. But that's going to be a good area where people are looking to take profits, and there's going to be some subconscious worries of reversal in this area from people who are already in profitable positions and people initiating short positions as well. So that's what I think for Litecoin. Really, I've got this target line down here. Got an alert for 38.28. Came so fucking close right there to getting filled. That would have been a big payday to get filled right here. But yeah, if price comes down to that level, I'm gonna start going a little bit more aggressive on the LTC accumulation so I can sell a breakout later, because it's one of my favorite coins that I'm interested in, not because it's better than any other altcoin, anything like that, just because I've got interest in it. I've had interest in it for a while. Kind of got a lot of them while they were cheap. I mean, it's not that far off the entry price at this point, but fucking still a little over 3x at this point from my original entry. So hanging on for that one, trying to make some profits there. We got Niaz. What's up, brother Niaz? My man. Longtime supporter from Niaz. Niaz, if you got any altcoin you want us to take a look at today, brothers, drop it in the comments. That's what we're doing, looking at altcoins. If anybody has any altcoins they want us to take a look at. Caesar asked me to do my top 3 favorites, so there was LTC really quick. Go ahead and take, I was doing a little DCA here. Let me see if my Bybit is more up to date. Okay, cool. So yeah, this is where we can just run Bybit right here. So anyway, if we're looking right here, we can see there was an ascending wedge. I have a pattern that I may have shown to you somewhere before. Let's see if I could grab it really quick. Yep, there we go. Here's my chart patterns. So if we're looking at this right here, I'll just bring it in tight. We have a rising wedge. Okay, so see there. Okay, boom. So we have that rising wedge now. We can see price came up and did a third top up here. It didn't break right around 5. Did a third top up here, but still followed within the rising wedge structure. Here's my little dotted line to show that low. And then we can see once it broke, I quit relying on that pattern. Once we have the breakage of that pattern, we can actually extend this. See that there is some rejection here now from that point. You can see this was a projection. Now that's where it's extended, projection, extension. And then we're going to go ahead and turn the EMAs back on now so we can see the levels being rejected right here. This is the average price people traded for it on the 4H time frame. And then people have no interest in trying to let it ride above that. There's a lot of profit taking right here. People don't want to try and buy this. They want to sell while it's close to that range because it's indicative of a downturn. So people know mathematically this is just about the best price they're going to get because that is the last layer of EMA. So it rejects. Here we can have potential rejection along this trend line, along the EMAs. And if there is that ultimate, rejection gets satisfied beyond this level right here, short-term diagonal support, then it's likely that we could see price cross into this region, something like that. And if it breaks up from here, if this stupid arrow will ever fucking go away, if it breaks up from here, obviously we can target to this level, maybe somewhere around here in this resistance point. But that falling wedge is going to be valid, and we're using these other levels as take profit targets until ultimately it comes back into this range, maybe even lower than that. We're not too sure really on Ethereum. I haven't studied it as hard as I have Bitcoin. Same goes for Litecoin. I've got some TA on it. We've been studying it for a while, but have not studied it near as hard as Bitcoin. But yeah, this is the range we're looking at pretty much for Ethereum. We clean this up a little bit. We can actually clean that up. That's going to be about the range we're looking at for ETH. So here's our downtrend line, EMAs where they're trading. Quick look at the MACD, RSI, and EMA. So that shows bullish. Could get across here soon. ADX has no trend strength. This is very, very low. It's historic. It's very low. It's along a common low ground where there's been no indication of trend strength before a trend develops. So it looks like there's a little bit of a tail forming. We have to see if this is going to continue down or if that was from the green candle push up, because we have, from where that tail forms, we have a big green candle and a big red candle. It's too soon to tell which way is gaining momentum. We'll see with this break here soon which way that goes, and that's going to, ADX tells me a lot. Gives me quite a bit of information whenever I'm analyzing charts. So if this shows that it's gaining momentum after it breaks down, that's likely that we're going to continue to push down. If it breaks up and shows that we're gaining momentum, it's likely that the breakup's going to continue. So we'll see there. And then one more, we'll go ahead and take a look at Link. Oh, fuck, nice. Okay, we got some suggestions. All right. Caesar says do my top 3. I did LTC and ETH really quick because no one else had any other suggestions. But we'll go ahead and go through with some of the suggestions now. If we have time, at the end, we'll get back to Link because no one has suggested it. I was just going through my top 3 since no one gave me an altcoin right off the rip. Let me grab a drink of this unsponsored vitamin water really quick. Let me close that. Can't even see my face here. There we go. Unsponsored vitamin water. We're going to take a swig of this, and then we'll go through some of your altcoins, guys. All your altcoins, actually. It's not too many of them yet. Sounds like rehydration with vitamin C. Choice of champions. All right, let's go forward now. G-Man says YFI. So I'm pretty sure G-Man has an idea already on YFI and just wants me to cross-check it. Let's see what we got there. YFI USDT. Sorry if I got some sticky stuff in my stash. I'm not going to try and wipe it. All right, so I don't know when the last time I looked at this was, but it looks like most of my lines end about right here. That has a really nice projection. That's projected really far. Looks like I've already got some of this work done here. Not sure who's asked about Wi-Fi in the past. You're in finance. All right, so let's see. This is based off a couple trend lines down here. I'll just project that a little bit more. All right, we got a nice little W action here. So strange. It almost comes from nowhere. Guess we'll be using that point as an intermediary range. Very strange. We have 2 touches here. Probably about right here, I'll say, is wherever this ended, because I had that formation and this was probably a projection. So let me readjust this now. Even here, it looks like we're getting a bit of a breakout, so that's nice. Looks like price is poking out above that range. This is an uptrend too. This is an uptrend line here, and this is a higher high for sure. That's a higher high. So I mean, if price can't break above there, it'd have to be considered a consolidation as long as it stayed within this range. And let me make that not red. We'll just call that a zone. So as long as price is within here, and that's a huge spread. I don't like to do that, but that's a fucking fat ass spread. But if price isn't making a higher high, oops. If price isn't making a higher high or making a lower low, it's ranging. It's consolidation. That's a large consolidation. In this short term, you could argue that this was a downtrend and it's being fought right here. So within this window was a downtrend. On the larger time frame, this is making a series of higher highs and a series of higher lows. So we'll see if the price retraces to this green line, we can probably place some money along there for a long for a support check. If it comes down somewhere into that blue line again, but if this isn't held, probably could get some confluence right here. If price were to retrace into this area, excuse me. Oh man, I had to do a little cough there. Yeah, price had to come into this area. I'd say maybe there could be a support bounce here. And we'll just go ahead and chain that up over there. Yeah, that's fine. I think the next layer of horizontal resistance would be right here based off that floor within that range. So let me go ahead and delete that now because we know where we're consolidating. Could be some resistance right here. If price breaks above this level, that's where the most recent swing high was. So if price is able to break above this, looks like a failed teacup here, but maybe it could do something like this. Whoop-de-doo. And boom. That would be cool. Maybe a cup and handle somewhere about this range. I would expect it to be, we're about within 24 bars and yeah, probably somewhere like this. Probably something like that. Maybe the range of that cup or that handle could even come over here and break above this little wick that we got. So looks like quite a bit of lines here, but that's going to be the range we're playing on this because it's a little bit, it's kind of volatile here. So if that doesn't come to life there, if there's no support here, doesn't break up, then we're going to look to target. Price maybe comes and trends along this part. If it doesn't get this upward bounce, then it could come here, fail, break down, and trend along this line. Maybe play a little bit of a roll here where it touches this, probably doesn't go all the way back up. And then here we have a support touch or area for potential buyer's interest. So yeah, that's short term on YFI. Long term, I don't really want to speculate on if this is going to go back to all-time high or not because this coin did crazy shit. Yeah, 95K. So it looks like I have a little bit of zones there too, even, but I'm not going to try and speculate that far on it. I don't know if this thing's, I don't know what this is. I haven't read the white page. So that's my short-term analysis for it, at least forward until that support floor. Obviously, if that's not held, we could play that or even come back into this low. That's for YFI. Let me see what we got here now. Grabavoy says B&B. Hope I did that right. Grabavoy. Niaz says 1 inch. Ricky Spanish says G-Man in the house. That boy G-Man in the house. Nasser says go deadly. G-Man using emojis. Oh, supporter only emojis. That looks clean. I've never seen anyone use it. Thanks, G-Man, for being the first person to use one of those emojis. All right, so 520 Grabavoy says B&B. Guys, if you want any altcoins analyzed, go ahead and drop it in the comments. We'll try and get it looked at. So I'm going to leave those open. We got YFI. Now we'll go ahead and look at, what was it again? B&B. Sure, I've got something on that. Go ahead and look at the Binance. Oh, no. We didn't hit our take profit target. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get rid of that and just look at the analysis. All right, so as far as our structure goes, I'm going to take off the RSI, MACD, and ADX. So as far as our structure goes, it looks like it's re-entered a channel. I'm not really going to classify this as valid since that structure was broken and support was not maintained above this level. What it looks like we could have overlapping here. Let me move that for now. All right. So I'm just, usually I like to use this for divergence, but I'm just going to go ahead and plot this right here so that we could see what price is looking like. I'm just gonna, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and change it because I like to use that for divergence, but I don't want to have too many white lines overlaying on each other right now for your eyes' sake. So we'll go ahead and turn these to yellow. I think that'll work. Yeah, so now we can see this yellow structure here. I'll turn off the EMA cross and we can see this is a bit of a descending wedge. It isn't exactly perfect flooring here, but we could also classify this as a zone if you wanted to. However, whenever I can get a fine price point, I like to use it, even if it's, you know, slightly sloping or whatever. I'll try and use as many wicks as possible. I don't want to cut through anything, like if I have to go here, cut through some of these wicks to make that happen. You know, I'll cut through a wick or two if I have to. But in this instance where I can use the wicks and it paints a pretty picture, I like to use that. So, you know, prices getting squeezed into this. Oh, look, minus coin is yellow too. So yeah, it makes sense. Price is getting squeezed into this area right here, and now you're going to need to look for an upwards break or a downwards break. I wouldn't really consider, like I said, these two valid as far as holding that channel, trading that channel into the future, but we could look to use these areas as potential resistance or take profit targets if we're going long here and price does re-enter that channel. If this breaks above, then we can use these as targets. So obviously we're going to be able to use horizontal support and resistance. Right here we have a strong area of resistance and it's elevated up until this purple line from that wick over there. So here we can expect some profit taking. If this does break out, you know, we have a take profit area right here. So these lines aren't going to be perfect, but let me just go ahead and make them little TP lines here. So if, for example, we were to go long on this, and I'm not saying going long is the right answer, we could have a stop loss here or whatever, but if we're going long on this, meaning we think the price is going to break positive, we could use our take profit goals right before areas of previous resistance in the structure. So no matter what kind of structure we're looking at, if it was that falling wedge that we were looking at on ETH, or rising wedge rather, and it breaks down, we use the market structure as targets. So whenever we're setting up for here, we have these targets to the upside. So we can use target here. I can go ahead and pretty sure it'll give me another one. Just clone it out. Now I don't have to put it all the way at the peak, right? Because price may not make that full move. Price may not make this full move here if I put my take profit at the peak. So that's why I try to make them a little bit lower personally, because I want to make sure that they get achieved or that they're filled, right? So the lower you have them from the actual swing highs, someone might, you know, be optimistic and think that this is going to get achieved and they put it all the way out here. But really, price may not make that full move and it probably only comes to here or something like that. So it could make the difference in getting your take profits filled. And you can also set multiple, you know, so if you wanted to play that type of range, then you can just go ahead and put two, or you know, in this instance we already had two before it. But if you wanted to play this range and that range, you can just break it up into multiple take profits, and then hey, if it does make that full move, you captured the profitability. But if it doesn't, you know, it's not a bad deal, because as you keep going up, you're gaining more and more profits, right? So it makes the risk to reward ratio look better. But you want to try and at least set this initial one up for 1-to-1, and then have multiple targets so you know, hey, if price moves here, I'm going to take this stop loss off, move it up here, yada, yada, yada. And that just based upon the market structure that you have available to you, right? So you might have some different market structure in the future, depending upon when you're watching this. Some people might be watching this a year from now, and they're not going to have this opportunity ahead of them. But the market structure, there's still going to be some type of market structure there, and you have to learn how to identify it, what has happened in the past whenever you observe that market structure, and in the asset you're observing it in, then you can have a way to bet up on it in the future. So that's a short look on BNB there. Let me take a look at the daily time frame real quick. Yeah, so it's broken some pretty nice support floor. I don't really have anything past that super duper huge explosion. Damn, that made so many people so much money. BNB is measly $25 over here. Like Litecoin shot up to 684 bucks. Big old payday, big old payday. Good work, guys. Good work if you got that. Yeah, let's be careful. Go ahead and paint that on there real quick. That is purple. So the price comes back down to the swing low. I mean, if you're targeting this to break short, or if it breaks up and then gets resistance here and continues down, ultimately it could indicate that the downtrend is continuing. This is an uptrend indicated by a series of higher lows, but in the larger picture, we still have a series of lower highs. So ultimately, this line will be drawn over here now, and there's our wedge. So we are starting to form higher highs on the smaller time frame, but on the larger time frame, here's a high point, here's a high point. They're both higher than the current price action we have now. So if this breaks down, then we have to play here. Could be a potential target for the way down, and so forth and so forth. Right before here, price does a little bit of this and that, and then we get something like, if it breaks out and then doesn't make it all the way up, comes back down in here, something like this, price doesn't just, it does do that sometimes, but ultimately, there's those pullbacks. So it's not just going to disappear like that. Probably check somewhere along those lines, some type of move like that. So we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. That's what we got for BNB. Doggy doggies. All right, my boy Niaz says 1 inch. Niaz, one of my longtime supporters. Shout out Niaz. That's my boy. Wants us to take a look at 1 inch. 1 inch USDT. I don't think I've looked at this one in a while. Yeah, I haven't looked at this in a while. So we're on a daily time frame. Okay, cool. So let me just clean this up a bit here. Damn, look at that wig. That's rugged. This is a tough one. Not really even gonna use that either. All right, move that up. This is a tough one, dude. Tough one, yeah. Why are you giving me a curveball like this? All right, so it looks like, on the daily time frame, I'm not gonna count all the way down to that wick, but we can see that price did travel to the low of. Let's zoom in on this and see. Oh, whenever it was listed. Let's see what the listing price is here for Binance. 20 cents. Okay, so whenever I got listed on Binance, it was 20 cents. Still trading above that by about 3x. So not too bad. It's never seen 20 cents since it came back, or since it was listed. Shot up, never saw it again. The lowest low since then was right here, actually. 0.514. Nice. That was just recently. So this thing has recently found a new low. That is not, it's not very reassuring. Looks like we had the support floor. Price went all the way through it. Thought there was going to be some support here. The price is currently still finding new lows from its listing price. So I would be a little bit cautious. I would be very cautious with that. This is a downtrend all day. We do have slightly higher lows here, but I mean, this could be considered a consolidation as far as the downside goes, unless this comes up and makes a higher high in this level, comes up, does something like this, then maybe we can chart it something like a megaphone type structure. You do something like that. I like this color. I don't know why that came off like that. Just realized it was the second one. Yeah. So it could open it up that way if we get this move to the upside. Then that would be indicative of a short-term uptrend. But even then, it looks like a bear flag within here. So you need to be cautious of this making lower lows if you're invested in this for the long run, especially if it's a spot position. And with your futures positions, I mean, just with any other futures position, you can trade within patterns. You can go long from here and go short from here. So just for example, you'd want to identify, let me identify our inner ranges first. So inner range here, this would be where you're comfortable entering shorts and where you're comfortable, and that could be any distance, right? I don't know how far this distance is here, but we can see that was, reasonably touched in there. So you could set this distance whatever you want, and then you can take longs from the bottom with your stop loss over that range, entry anywhere in this range that you're comfortable with, and then you can set up take profits here. Anywhere through the middle, is a take profit range, and then obviously you use the different levels. So right here would be a TP level for you. Probably right here would be a TP level. And same thing if you're going short. You can go short from the top of the channel, have your entry in here, stop loss just above, set it anywhere to where you think it makes sense, wherever price comes into that channel. That way you're going to be entering there. You have a set place for entry, set boundaries for stop loss, and you can set up your take profit somewhere in the middle based upon those same ranges. Now let's just imagine that you were in the long scenario. You took your long trade, price goes up, and then it breaks above, continues to push up. Well, you bought in way back here because you were trading the channel, so that's good. But price didn't actually, let's say price didn't actually do that, and you bought in on the long, and you see price is starting to come back here, right? So you place your short entry on that pullback, and then, or if it broke over even, it broke over and it failed the retest, whatever the situation was, if it comes back in its formation, you close your long that's in profits, and you set up your short and get ready to chase it back down. Then if this breaks to the downside, boom, 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 you had your short open and you were profitable. But then again, right, let's say that instead of doing that retest right there, it fails and it re-enters. Well, you know that you're comfortable taking longs in this range. That's a short. You know you're comfortable taking longs in this range, so you set up your stop loss. You're like, all right, I'm going to try and get in. If it goes down, you get stopped out on the long. But if it hits that reversal like you thought, then boom, we're just playing that pattern. Whatever pattern it is, if it's a wedge, a channel, play the inside of the pattern until it breaks. Then you play the outbreak, retest, things like that. So that's our immediate range for this, and that's kind of a couple setups how you could trade this range until it's no longer there in NIAS, because this immediate range is really all the only thing I would take action on when it comes to this asset right now. I mean, I wouldn't feel comfortable trying to accumulate a lot of 1 inch right now when it's that close to a low that has just been discovered for the first time in its history. At least by its exchange listing on Binance. It could have a lower price at a lower contract swap somewhere else before this listing here in 2021. But as far as this price action is concerned, very sketchy to be trying to accumulate a shitload of something that is discovering new lows. But I mean, that does mean it has lots of upside potential. I would limit how much of my capital I put into there, and especially if I'm going long now and this trend is broken to the downside, like I said, I would have my stop loss above this at this point, somewhere right here. So if it goes down lower, out, not involved in this asset. That's a lot of downwards price action with no healthy recovery signals and no indication, no strong upwards price indication. My boy. Niaz, 1 inch. All right, where are we at now? Nosser says, go deadly. I'll read that one again because that's a nice comment. 520 grab a voice says, Brazilian on the house here. Brazilian, that's what I'm talking about, brother. Yes, I mean, I'm not Brazilian, but I practice Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, so you're cool, right? We're cool. Yeah, my boy Ananya in the house too. Ananya, OM. Let me check out OM, brother. All right. I don't really know what that is. Ananya says, damn this network. And then Chinadu says, waves. All right, so let me see what OM is, and then we can take a look at waves. OM USDT. All right, so that is something. OM USDT. Let me take a drink of this non-sponsored vitamin water, because vitamin water has not sponsored me, but they should. Yeah, we're going to drink some water. But not just any water. Vitamin water. I don't know how many streams this is of shouting out vitamin water, but damn it, one day they're going to sponsor me. All the traders drink vitamin water. Vitamin water sales go through the roof. All right. Moving forward, OMUSDT. All right. This thing looks choppy. This is nice and choppy. What do we got here? Nanya, what are you getting into on this one, bro? Let me see. Okay, so it's trading under the 200-day moving average. Never looked at this asset before. I'm just gonna back it out a bit. All right, a little better. Looks like the typical, oh, we listed this token on the exchange and then pumped the shit out of it and then sold everything we had as soon as it pumped type token. That downtrend line's broken. I don't know why I'm trying to fix it so hard. I mean, obviously we have a downtrend here without trying to disrespect any wicks. I can go ahead and play off of these. I think even then that consolidation, or that'll break over with a consolidation. So it's not really like this formation had a strong, or a price had a strong reaction to this formation. Looks like there was a bit of a breakout, push down, breakout, touch above, and then now it looks like time is just, I mean, price wasn't really going to go negative here. It's kind of just sitting sideways as it collided along the floor. So, I mean, could have came down to a little bit more degree, but that was just about the end of that trend line play there. So if I just turn this into a dotted line, I'll look here to play like that. Again, we just have basic price action. We have it expiring because it's not going to push below zero, and time just can't stop moving. You know, new price being formed, but here it's all, even up until this very point in this moment where it is on the weekly time frame, it's a lower high. This is, we can't tell if this is the end of the formation yet, but every single low from this token has been lower since its listing here on Binance. So at least on the weekly time frame, they keep pushing lower and keep pushing lower. And I'll zoom into the daily time frame here. And now I can see how wiki it is again. So that's pretty wiki. Wiki, real travel-y. It looks like it's fun to trade. I mean, honestly, you could trade in here with some solid ranges. Or a grid bot would even do good at this point until it breaks down. Maybe, I don't know if I would run a grid bot right now. It'd be profitable, as like I said, we don't really have that much lower room for price action here, even if it goes into zero. I mean, it could still go 99% from now to zero, so if you get involved there, that's still gonna be a wild ride. But the grid bot can do pretty well on the upside in an instance like this. But I would probably have the grid bot. I wouldn't ride the grid bot to zero. I'd probably have it deactivated or stop executing buy orders at this level. See how far away that is percent wise. That's like 35%. So we could set up a grid bot to go down on this, 35-40%, and then set up the grids here. Because if it's gonna keep moving sideways, it's gonna like buy in this area and take profit in this area. So we could set up the upwards range into here. If price is gonna be doing something like this again, where it's real wiki, that's a lot of profits. Price is gonna be doing something like this, where it's real wiki. That's a lot of profits. So you just have to define that buy and sell range. This would be where it stops taking those orders on the downside. This would be where you could take profits all the way up here. I mean, there's no reason not to have those orders set. Have some take profits set up there. But reasonably, you want to find that grid range. I would say this is the range it's playing right now. It's not going to play this for very long. I wouldn't anticipate with as much wicks movements as it's had before. By the 200 EMA, it hasn't really traded above that in a while. Since it got 200 days of existing time range, we can see that there's no candles. That candle closed above. No other candles close above the 200 EMA since it was algorithmically formulated by the data being available. So we'll say if it does break above here, there's likely going to be some resistance at 7 cents, 0.0739 cents. If it does, if and when it does break above this range, probably going to wick into that, bam, 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 something like that, until it pushes down again and these open up like this. Because right now, these are getting jumbled up, but not really being used as support. Here, they're being used as support, leading us to believe that we could continue running up. If this was doing something like this, right, and we're using them as support, all these little dealios stay right here, but they're starting to turn down again. But that's not really a good sign. That's a sign of a downtrend continuation. That's what we want to be careful for whenever we're trying to place a long. We don't want to get involved in a downtrend. So you need to be aware that, hey, this is possibly being used as resistance. Even if it does get above into this level and we see it start to do this again, this is where it's going to be an area of resistance we're going to want to look out for. If it breaks above, price does something like this. Price does something like this where it comes above here, blah, blah, blah. Finds support here. Then pushes up, creates another higher high. This starts to move up, and we repeat this process, find support along the 200 EMA. Then these open up here. That's where we're going to want to be like, oh, hey, you know what? 50 crosses the 200 on the daily time frame. This is indicative of a long-term uptrend. But until we can see that, we have to be considerate of the information available to us, which is bearish. So that's what we're looking for. Probably, if there is an upwards move, you can expect resistance somewhere around this point. Lots of profit taking. Not really a lot of interest in opening hyper longs at that level. I wouldn't anticipate. Damn it, G-Man says link. All right, we'll take a look at link. I almost did that one in the beginning, but finally got some suggestions from you guys. So went on with the suggestions. But yeah, we can go back to link. Let me do waves for this fellow Chinedu right here. And then we'll go with G-Man says CRV and link. Big fat ass letters in link. I don't know how you got it to do that, but that's super dope. All right, so take a look at waves really quick. I think waves is a pumpy one here. Waves has some movement on it. Waves, waves. All right, yeah, look at that movement there. Nice. My goodness. Fantastic moves, gentlemen. What are you boys doing? That thing's on steroids. Look at that. 83% after 300%. What's the final move on it? God, 650%. Absolute animals. Damn, the internet's crazy. All right, nice. Good shit, fellas. Good shit. Well, anyway, looks like it's not at a historical low. Pretty far off from a historical low. And looks like it's finding some nice support right here. But ultimately, I wouldn't rule out a move to this area. Right here. Potential we could see something down into this region here. Price is playing this right now. That's a fat ass zone too. Whew. Yeah, price is playing this right now. I'll use the top of that wick and the low of this one. That's a big fat zone right now too. Yeah, none of these levels are really too fine to my liking, honestly. We do have all-time high at 63.88. Nice. 63.88 for waves. Ah. Sorry, guys. 63.88. Damn, I was close. Nice. And just curious to see what a short would do me in from here. 92%. That's incredible. Yeah, this is a good buying opportunity from all-time high, 92%. I don't know. Don't really know much about the token. It's seems like it's a really fun one to trade. I remember trying to short this probably somewhere in this region and it just kept fucking pumping up. I was like, all right, that's enough. I have a trend line here, so I think I was almost had that, man. That would have been a huge payday. That's why I was a little disappointed when I seen that just now because I gave up trying to short this because I got stepped out like 2 or 3 times trying to find it back over here. I was like, fuck this coin because it just kept defying everything I had. Look, there's a couple little lines right here. They don't really make sense on this time frame, but I'm sure they did in the time frame I was trading it. So yeah, this token made a fool of me. But you know what? That short paid off for someone. We see that is a huge payday on that short there. Wow, huge payday on that short. And for the short-term price action, let me see. I mean, this price wedge isn't really. I would like to try and connect these, but it looks like prices just kind of moved sideways again. Not really any strong structure here. We have an active downtrend line here, but it looks like price is just poking over it right now. Even if it pokes over the active downtrend line, this is still lower highs here. Let me see if that's divergence. Oh, it is a little bit of divergence, so that's cool. We got to watch out for that. Make sure that this, we got bullish divergence on the bottom side here, but also it looks like a little bit of technical bearish divergence. So that's kind of what I'm looking out for in Bitcoin too. You know, I'm trying to see if that bearish divergence is going to come to life. Looks like here we have the bullish divergence. I'll go ahead and identify it for you. So that was a really nice indication that we could have went long for a short period anyway. Right now it still is up from the divergence signal. Here's where we have our final signal. So if you were ballsy in that, could have taken profits a little bit higher. If you're still holding on to that, still up like 3.8%. I'd wait a little bit to see because this looks like it's being used as resistance right now. Yeah, so it looks like it's using the 50 EMA right now for resistance. If it could poke above, here we do have a couple levels that we could run into, so that would be nice to see if it turns up, because that could be a really nice indication here. The time for that hasn't expired. So it's about 10 to 12% over 9 days. It's 4% through over 9 days here. Yeah, so that level could put it back to the top of the box that we have identified and give us another few percentage from where it's at now to that point. About another 7% possibility out of that divergence. So that's something to keep an eye out for. But then again, we have this right here up on top. Hey, you stop that. He wants to be on the camera. Neil wants to be on the camera. So this is sloping down here, and this is sloping down. We're going to want to wait to see if price can continue to move over sideways in this little motion that doesn't cause a new high, right? If the slope of this line doesn't turn up from higher price action created here pretty soon, then this is going to be a bearish divergence. Because if this RSI comes up even just a little bit more and doesn't break this pivot, then we're going to be able to be like, hey, you know what? Here we have the technical divergence. It has to come up, and we have to see just a little bit more, because if they're both sloping the same direction, that's not divergence. We have a more in-depth video about how to identify divergence and how to understand the RSI in general on my channel. You can go take a look at that. Right now, this technically isn't any divergence, but if the RSI comes up just a little bit more and turns this sloping line against here, while the price action doesn't create a new high, because price has to come a long way. Price is going to have to shoot 20% if it's going to want to disrespect this here pretty soon. So that's what we're going to be looking out for there. Looking for the RSI to poke up a little bit more, create this divergence, and then that's going to give us the bearish impression. Right now, it's technically no bearish divergence, but that's what I would look out for if I was interested in this asset. And then once it breaks below here, I mean, obviously we have a long ways down. We've identified that range on the 4-hour chart. Go back to the 1 day. Yeah, so if it breaks below here, we've identified this range. And we have a couple different points we can play as potential, areas where because obviously even here, we do see a strong uptrend. but there's a lot of bouncing around, and you can't call the bounce perfectly at what level. Oh, it's gonna bounce here, and then it's gonna drop this far, and it's gonna pull this far back up, and it's gonna drop this far back down. Just have a general idea of where the price is gonna move. So there might be some bouncing around in there. It could end up back between $1.75 and $2 if it breaks bearish. If it, for some whatever godly reason, arguable to say the least, but if for some godly reason it pokes up and wants to turn bullish, obviously we have that resistance right here on the 1 day time frame. We have 100 EMA and 200 EMA. So price manages to make it up here. I can see a lot of profit taking at the 200 EMA and at this level, about $11. So that's what we got for waves. And now we'll take a look at CRV and Link. Yeah. G-Man says, hate that waves. I remember. G-Man was there. Ananya says, hi. I missed OM analysis even though I requested it. Facing Bad Network. G-Man scheduled a video on 7 September. Nice! G-Man's got a video. That's what's up, guys. He's got it scheduled for the September 7th. Let's go check that out because G-Man's been a supporter, a member for 4 months. Look at that shit. Member for 4 months. Shout out G-Man. That nuts for you, brother. Go check out his stream. I don't know the information on it. I just see that Ananya shared about it. So maybe G-Man can share a link to it. I don't know if it's a stream or if it's just a video, but G-Man can share a link to it if he wants to. More than welcome. And then he says, we'll watch it in recording. Sorry your network connection is bad, brother. But yeah, I gave you a pretty good look at Ohm. Now we'll go take a look at CRV and Link. CRV. I haven't looked at this one in a while. Alright, this is going to be interesting. Let us see. Curve? Is this a Curve Finance? Nice. Last trade was somewhere over here. Right. January 2022. Love trying to short things. Let me get rid of some of this shit here because it looks like actually trading this quite some time. Get rid of some of this mumbo jumbo here. It looks like a saber-tooth saw or some shit. Saber-tooth saw. All right. What we got here? I'll extend that. I fucked with that just a little bit. I fucked with that a little bit. Let me see. Touch right there. Extend that up. Where's that orange line from? Let me delete that too. I don't know why this orange line's here. I guess I'm using that wick. Cause this shot. Oh yeah, cause that's right. Cause that's a crazy fucking wick. 23,255. All right. Yeah. So we're using that high 769. There we go. 696. How did I forget that 6? Alright, there. Now, so we'll call that previous all-time high because that's where the little wiki wick popped up, came down, next day went up that high, came back down before it pushed below the open price, or the listing price. So then we come over here, we'll take a look. Got some resistance here at this, oh no! Got some resistance here at this level. We'll scoot that over and we'll say the top layer of resistance is going to be $6.79. Bottom layer, we got some more resistance at $5.67. And that's going to be a wide range. But that's where there's going to be a lot of profit taking. We could draw a line here. It's already broken. We could even draw a line to that point or this point here, but it looks like, you know, it's just kind of moving sideways, kind of running out of time, right, for this, because it's not really a strong upwards move. It's not like we've maxed any of these targets over here. Price just kind of moved out of that area of price conflict. So I'm not really going to have that one on there, but we will draw short-term uptrend. I'll zoom in a bit. Get zoomed in here. So that's going to be pretty nice. I mean, we could use this until it's no longer valid. Is there a divergence here? No divergence. Not really strong, but doesn't really indicate. It's not a strong indication of a trend reversal, but I mean, we do have technically a higher low for once. So price was making lower lows here, and now it's making a higher low here. But price is also conflicted. Here we have a little wedge. So earlier we were trading a channel, and we were like, oh, we're gonna short from the top, long from the bottom. So this is kind of how you would do that with a wedge. This isn't a perfect wedge. It's gonna be hard to find things that are perfect in nature, but you know, you find your range where you're comfortable on betting on the bottom and the top, and you're like, all right, I'm gonna place my longs here, try and play the breakout bullish. I'm gonna place my shorts here, try and play the breakout bearish. So if you believe it's going to be a bearish break, this is your short range. You put your stop loss here, just so you see what that looks like. Put a short range with your stop loss here. I mean, you can play your stop loss a whole bunch of different ways. It's just one way to play it based off patterns. We see a wedge. We could short anywhere within this region, you know, and have our stop loss above that. Or if we wanted to long, if we believe this was going to break long, then we could place our entry for the long somewhere in here, anywhere in this region within our dotted lines, and we could place our stop loss right there. Outside of it, if we go in a little early, then we could put our stop loss right at that line. If we go a little bit later and try and get the best entry, then we can put our stop loss right outside of it. You know, so there's a bunch of different ways we could play it, but generally try and target your long from the bottom of any formation, and that goes for if it's going to be, you know, if it's something like this where price comes up and then makes a flag formation here, it looks like it's going to be a bullish flag. You know, you have price come in here and it's like, does this little number, blah, blah, blah. So still, you have your upper range and your lower range. We have this range here with the dotted line. We have this range here with the dotted line. In this instance, you'd probably want to take a long because you have more information telling you it's going to break bullish. It could break bearish. You never know. But that's just, you know, these are the examples of how you would trade these patterns. So you have this obvious price conflict directly in front of you. You determine where you're going to go from here. If you're right, then you can turn that into a longer swing trade or a swing position. Or you can just cancel out your trade and, you know, close it, take profits, whatever you want to do. That's what it looks like for CRV on the short term. We got some resistance, you know, possible resistance running in at 1.6. If it breaks over this and you are, you know, playing that breakout and it confirms above, look out for people taking profits on you at 1.68. Don't get dumped on. Maybe take some profits there, or at least chase it with your stop loss up if that's what you're going to do. But, G-Man, I know you already have a plan. You were just looking for another opinion. Then we got Link on there. Link. Yo, my boy Lucas says LTC. Real quick, Lucas, all you got to do is the backspace for that one. We actually talked about Litecoin. I think it was the second or third coin I did. So back up for that one for Litecoin. So you can wait till after the stream though, so you don't miss any of the live action. And then Clarence says, "What's up, DC? What's up, Clarence? What's good, homie? What's poppin'? What's crackin' lackin'?" So my boy G-Man says Link. Without further ado, we got that big old fat ass comment in there. It says Link. Let's take a look at Link. Let's go to my Link chart. Link's way up here. Not on Binance. We'll take a look at Bybit. Oh, what? Oh, I think everything's just hidden. There we go. Okay, so let me see if I clean this one up. Okay, so yeah, we could use this one. We'll use larger picture. We'll use infrastructure. Okay. So let me just start with the larger picture first. No, larger picture, actually don't have that much going on here. It looks like this line comes from bumfuck Egypt. We run into a little bit of resistance there, breaks above. Now this downtrending ray is very valid. So the larger downtrend on here hasn't been penetrated, hasn't been pierced. Even if we do get price above this, we're going to start playing this game where we're raising from here because price is creating new highs, right? Price does this, comes up, oh, it tests above, oh, it makes new high, and then, oh, it comes up again. So right here, we have to raise this, and then price comes back down. We're like, oh, so we're still playing that resistance line until it breaks above. So we're just going to keep playing that game until eventually this line slopes up and we're forming new highs and we get over all-time high, and then everyone's going to be like, oh, it's bullish, it's bullish. Well, it's been bullish, not right now, but those are the signs that you need to look out for. If it's starting to create higher highs and higher lows, that is an uptrend, right? Even if it hasn't broken, like this is just the same way we've been trading smaller market structure. This is a larger market structure here. We have this wedge, and price could come in anytime and break over this wedge, and then we start using some of these levels as take profit targets, and that's a swing trade because these targets are going to be huge. These are massive targets. We're looking at 600% back to all-time high, and I don't like to speculate a bunch on altcoins. I really don't. Link is something I think that's going to do very well. I think it could see its all-time high again. So I've got quite a big bag of Link. Now, primarily, like I said, some of these assets I just got into pretty early. I was able to get some Link at 63 cents and then like at $1.60 where I got most of my shares. So pretty easy to hold on to it at that point. Definitely regret not selling as much as I should have. I sold some. I actually did take some profits on Chainlink too, and I'm waiting to rebuy those back. I'm just waiting to see if this is the lower low or not. I don't really believe if this is going to be the lower low. Yeah, here's where my sold point was. So didn't capitalize, on the most of it, but I got in. I did sell quite a bit at a very reasonable price from where I picked them up, and waiting to get back into that. So now we'll see from our infrastructure. We're looking a little bit at that line based off these two values, and I did draw that little red line here earlier as well. So based off of this structure, we could see, and these are dotted lines now because obviously it's been broken, invalidated. We have another line and another line here, but then I'm just kind of playing the chase up game, cutting through a couple wicks, extending this, using those wicks only. So we have this falling wedge type formation, and those dotted lines have been breached. Still, you could call it in a falling wedge or whatever, but remember, ultimately we have this line right here. So that's going to be our ultimate ascending trend line. And then we have some horizontal support and resistance. I think group 1 is just also some trade scratch there. Yeah. Well, it's also got a little bit of what was going on in the immediate price action. So we'll put that on too. We had this nice little wedge, prices broken out of, tested that, broken up here, came close into this range hit, played that very same wick right there. So if I put my cursor right here, we can see the dotted line goes over, played that same wick right there, and is now back within this range. So it's failed to create a higher high, but also has not created a lower low yet. So this is considered a consolidation range. Until price breaks this support level or this resistance level, Link is consolidating. Once it breaks this resistance level, it could play that, remember that big downtrend line we were looking at. There could be a nice little reaction to that. A lot of people see it. There's going to be a little pump up, shoots up maybe into this region or whatever. But here are some horizontal targets along the way, at least until the short term, when we get into this big area or quite massive, potentially massive area of resistance where a lot of people are going to be interested in taking profits. What is a resistance point? Where price reverses direction. Why does price reverse direction? It's because people are behind the trades. So people are accumulating at such low prices like this are going to be taking profits whenever it gets into that area. Now, some people are going to be greedy. They're going to hold on to those positions. It's going to contribute to the price moving forward. But there is going to be a lot of people taking profits. Depending upon how many people start entering the market for shorts, that's going to be based upon the market sentiment. If it's an obvious uptrend when we get to that point, then a lot of people are not going to be opening shorts. The longs are going to stay open, and more people are going to want to get in on it. So that's kind of how market sentiment works. Right now for Link, there is no strong... I'll turn on the ADX really quick before I speak my mouth on that, because it looks like it's kind of consolidating based off price action. And based off the ADX, I mean, it's not sloping upward. Here we did have a little bit of... I'll just go... Well, we can see with the cursor. So here, if I move up, we can see the cursor in this dotted line shows an uptrend, and that is when the ADX did gain strength, but the ADX is no longer moving upwards. So the uptrend has lost strength right there and not really confirmed or have much strength in any trend direction right now. So as for Link, we're going to wait to see if it breaks this support floor right here, because there's not really any EMAs underneath it to support it. If it breaks this support floor, it's probably going to push lower. But if it comes up and manages to find support along some of these EMAs, we could see it push up here, maybe find some resistance at $8, maybe a little bit more resistance between this wick range of $9.30, $9.76, and that EMA might actually meet them there by that point, or slow down somewhere like that. So probably could meet in somewhere at that range, something like that. Maybe it wouldn't be such an if this was an aggressive push up, then that would slope like that, but it would probably be a little bit more gradual slope if this was a little bit more extended consolidation. Nonetheless, I could see it running into, I could see price running into some resistance along this point right here. Yeah, somewhere along this point being right here too. If it manages to break above these levels, poke out of here, then I could see a retest here coming above. So that's up for Link. That's up for Link. Oh yeah, and G-Man says going live. Oh yeah, he says going live. My man. Oh, Link Bybit, not Binance. Okay, we'll take a look at Bybit. G-Man says he is going live. That's what's up, brother. He finally got enough subscribers and enough watch time. Hell yeah, drop the link, dude. That's what I'm talking about. Got a little bit of emoji spam there. Nice emojis, guys. Those are sick with it. Yeah, only supporters can use those. Those are clean. So he said, G-Man says link on Bybit, not Binance. So let me just go ahead and run over here because I do got link on Bybit. I don't think the chart looks exactly the same. I might have a little bit different structure here. Yeah, I don't have a larger picture. Alright, so I don't have a lot going on here. I did the larger picture on Binance. But I'll do something in here. Let me see where my trade scratch is. Okay, so none of that trade scratch really matters. You're not going to be able to use that. And I'll just go ahead and group all these trend lines here. Alright. Turn that off. Okay. So I'll play these wicks right here for the downside. Upside, let me see. Right here. Make that a little zone. Just a little baby zone. Scoot that over. So here's our top range. Here's our low range. And big old downtrend line. So the high here is 38.393. 393, and then the high here is 53. Really close. All right, so there we have our downtrend. Connecting these low points. Connecting these two low points runs us in here. This larger descending wedge. Yeah, just on Bybit, I'd say for the larger picture, that's about what we're working with here. This is broken over. This is broken over here. Oh no. This is broken over here. Broken over there. Put that there. Move this here. This is broken over. So we could use that if you wanted to. If you're skipping things, you can use that. If you're not skipping things as much as possible, still have to skip that one, but play that now. So they broke above. There's our new high. Ranging in here. If this gets rejected, back down to the bottom of this formation. If it breaks above here, possibly some resistance. You know, like I said, within that consolidation range. And then if it breaks above here, we need to see price break above, sustain above, close above, and trade above these prices here before we can consider attacking that next level of resistance. Yeah, similar analysis, but figure I'd run it back over on Bybit. Probably not going to be a major difference for this asset, but there are, if you were on the minute time frame, it would definitely make a fuck. On the daily time frame, the larger picture analysis, probably not too much, but you know, my boy G-Man definitely had to get the right chart up there for him. He wants Bybit, man's going to get Bybit. G-Man, I don't Jamie, if you could go to G-Man's profile and get that link. Ricky, if you could go to G-Man's profile and get that link and you can share it for us, or G-Man, you can share the link for us too. So what's up, my people? We got, how long is that? What's that runtime there? Cool, so we got an hour and 11 minutes runtime. Not too bad. Got a little over 70 minutes on the stream. So what's up, my people? We got any more altcoins you want me to take a look at? Just about out of vitamin water. I think I could take one more swig. So we could do one more altcoin. If anybody has an altcoin they want me to take a look at, just drop it in the comments. And we'll take a look at one more altcoin. I'll take one more swig. Damn. Well, you know, it was more than one swig. I didn't want to try and tilt my head back for too long and then spill all down the sides of my mouth and it looks like an asshole. So I'll just accept that. It was 1 1/4 swigs. And no one got hurt. Clarence, my boy Clarence says GLMR. Alright, that's the one. That's the last altcoin. Let's see, I've never heard of this before, so should be fun. What the hell's on Binance? Oh boy, I knew it. I knew I was gonna walk into some shit like this. I absolutely knew it. Alright, so let's see here. This asset was listed at 25 cents, open to pump the shit out of this. $50. 50 25 cents to $50. Wow. 45,000%. Gonna do some stupid math. 45,154.48% times, let's just say $100. I think that's not bad. It's 45,454 grand. $100. If you woke up and traded this ICO with $100, you could have walked away with 45 G's. That's bonkers. Yeah. Okay. So everything's tightened up. Looks like a downtrend was the most active and valid trend. Wasn't a great downtrend there. Yeah, that's probably quite a hefty distance though. 52% from the bear cross on the daily time frame. 32%. Bullish cross didn't do shit. Nothing but sideways action there. So you could expect the bear cross is going to have some push. Let me look at the price action here. Actually, not too bad of a formation at this point. That was pretty nice bear flag. Got a little bit of a curvature there. But, you know, nothing wrong with a little bit of curvature. Gets the job done, right? So, I mean, we have this huge wick popping above there. So I don't normally like to discount wicks. I would say that opened up into a megaphone. But then ultimately, you know, price is struggling to find support above this level, which means it's getting rejected, which means people are showing interest in taking profits and people are showing interest in initiating shorts. And whenever it broke this line, you would have pretty much known, hey, if you were involved in this at this point, you're like, hey, this is about to, you know, make some major downside because we didn't have any previous price action history before that listing. So, you know, the moment you see this break here, you know, fuck, I could be in some trouble because it could come all the way back to the listing price because there's nothing else here saying, hey, we're going to stop here. you know, we're gonna stop here. It's not like a map. There's no the bus stop. There's no places where the bus is gonna stop. There's nothing. But then, you know, we get into the price action we have now. We see there's a little bit more of a floor, but we looked at a coin like this earlier. I think it was OP, maybe OM. I think that was the one. I don't recall exactly, but you get into an asset where price is traveling to places it's never been before, and those are lows. If price opens up into what we call discovery mode, when price finds a new all-time high, it could do crazy things. It could pump up really high because people want, you know, FOMO. They don't want to miss out, and it could dump really quickly after it reaches the new all-time high because people are like, oh man, I'm rich, I'm taking these fucking profits. And the same thing for whenever price is on the downside in price discovery. It's discovering new lows. You don't know if you buy in right now, if it goes from 53, you're like, oh, 53 cents is pretty cheap. It can go down 99% to a penny. And you're like, oh, well, it can't get any worse. And you double down. And then the next fucking day, it still goes down 99% more. What did this happen with? Luna. I've watched it happen. I've watched price go down 99%, 97%, 98%, days after days, day after day on end until the thing fucking finally, the blockchain halted and everyone stopped trading it. Okay? I'm not going to say that's going to happen for every altcoin, but when a coin like the most recent low that is discovered is right here, just a few months ago here in June, and it's not really that far behind. It's not even sustaining above that level right now. We're currently at the lowest price it's ever been since its listing price, and that is sketchy. That's sketchy for an investor. I mean, it could turn out to be the best play of your life if you buy this right here, and that is absolutely the lowest low, and then price comes back up into some of these regions. So we'll just go ahead and map some of those out for you, boss. Looks like we have, you know, we could run into some profit taking right here. I don't like to draw the zones too huge, so I'll draw, you know, multiple zones here. In the short term, I mean, price would struggle to even do that. That's 300x. All eyes would be on it. Probably pump up to here, maybe here if it did get a pump like that, and then be back down. And here's another level, and here's another level. So this one doesn't really have, you know, a lot of structure for me to give it. Even if I use, you know, some of these lines here, we could say, oh, it's not really. I mean, probably the furthest back wicks that we could use to illustrate an accurate active downtrend line would be from here. And even then, we're not going to run into resistance for a while. But it's because there's a lot of extreme volatility in the early stage of this. It makes it a little bit harder to give structure to now that price is kind of becoming more tame or illiquid, right? See what the trading volume looks like on that. Yeah, I fucking think so. 89 million, 79 million, listing day, 8 million. It's not that great. And here today we see 1 million. Wow. The volatility from here to here actually pretty similar. But now we can see it measuring differently. Oh no, yeah, that's 89 mil. That was the candle right before it. Okay. That's 89 mil, 79 mil, and here we have 6 mil so far on the data trading. But, you know, if the volume 10x's, will the price 10x? I don't think so. I don't think so. No. I don't think so. But you never know. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't see the future. I would say be very careful with this asset. Don't throw your life savings into it right now. You know, be smart. Have a plan. If it deviates further, if it deviates another 10%, how much can you allocate to it? If it deviates another 25%, how much more could you allocate to it? Maybe something like that. If you really want to be involved in it. I don't know anything about the white page, the project, nothing like that. Just based off of the technicals, I would be very careful. Couldn't really have. Let me see if this is divergence real quick. That's. We got a little bit of divergence showing here. Just like I said, I mean, normally I would bet on divergence on the daily time frame. I'm just going to be cautious. This is the daily time frame shows a strong downtrend. This is a downtrend. ADX is strong. It's in the middle of a strong downtrend. There is a little bit of divergence here with price being so low, like I said, in that range where it's never been, these lows haven't been explored since listing price. I'd be cautious. If price manages to break below this, oops, if price manages to break below this divergence line right here, normally whenever I trade a divergence, let's just say I wanted to trade this, I would set up my position like so. So when, damn, where's the bottom of here? I would set up my position like this. I mean, the targets would depend on the market structure, but the stop loss, I would say, would be below the divergence line. So if, I was able to get in right here, if I got in way up here, my stop loss would be below this line. So if price comes out right here, anywhere in this point, and breaks below the divergence, I'm out of the trade because that means the divergence is invalid. So that's how I would trade it. Personally, I wouldn't trade this divergence just because of the asset volatility. Also because I know nothing of this fucking asset. But if I was going to trade the divergence, that's how I would trade the divergence. And the divergence is like right there, right upon you. So if you wanted to take it, I'd say nut up and take it. Have a tight stop loss around that divergence, around the recent swing low. That is the recent swing low. If it goes lower, then we have reason to believe the price is going to go even further lower. Tricky, a little bit tricky there with something like this. Basically, whenever you have something that lists onto an exchange and does a huge fucking pump and dump like this, it's really hard to do TA on it. As price develops a little bit more, sure. But here in the early stages, it's a little bit hard. Maybe if this coin survives the next bull cycle, we'll have some historical low information. We'll see what the new all-time high brings us, and that'll make it a little bit easier to forecast. Right now, with what I was given, with the information available, that's the best I could do for you, my good sir Clarence. All right. That was going to be the last one, brother. Classic Wells says, let's do Doge. Oh, man. Classic. Wait, we'll take a quick look at Doge. Let me get my stretch in. Ricky Spanish says, G-Man to his link channel and upcoming live event. Yes, Mr. Ricky Spanish. Just if you could grab the link to the live event and post it in the comments, that'd be dope. I'm going to go ahead and take a quick look. We'll shoot over to Doge real quick and take a quick look because I said that was going to be the last coin. But I see Classic. We got Classic Well here. So we'll go ahead and take a look at Dogecoin real quick. And I'll look at Binance. Alright, so I got a lot of shit going on Binance here. Basically, we have gibberish over here. The last big structure that we were looking at was, this was a resistance point. This was a support point. So I know I got a bunch of shit on here. Let me just talk you through the biggest parts. This was a resistance. This was a support. We've broken through there. I think the magic is just about run off. So we have this descending megaphone from these wicks, playing the extreme ranges there. Scoot that down a bit. Playing the extreme ranges. So we have a really high-end, high target and a really low-end, low target. Here I can go ahead and add a new ray for a new target. And even if we do use TA on fucking Dogecoin, I've watched Dogecoin disrespect TA so many times, bro. So many times with these wicks, they just stop you in and out. So there is some TA there. I don't know if Elon's tweet would upset the TA, so drastically at this point. I think a lot of that magic has worn off. But in the immediate short term, we actually do have a series of lower highs and lower lows. So this is all indicative of a downtrend. And with the EMAs, we can possibly run into some resistance right here. 06922, 07631. Maybe this slumps out and then we run into some resistance at 0.9 cents, which would be also resistance point based on these two wicks and based on that projection. We don't have 3 touches to call this a valid downtrend line yet, but that's where we can expect some area of resistance based upon this projection of those wicks and the 200 EMA. It's not like this, there's not any EMAs underneath this for support. We're not really looking at any strong reversal signals. It's not there. So that's a quick look at Doge. Quick look at Doge per suggestion. All right, my people. Now, if you didn't get your altcoin suggestion in today, oh, he did see it? I didn't see it there. But anyway, whatever. If you didn't get your altcoin suggestion in today, don't worry. It's not going to be the last altcoin stream. I'm going to continue to do this. I guess as long as I continue to breathe oxygen. So there's going to be another chance for you. Just a quick tip and a heads up. You can come here before the stream starts and drop a comment. You can say, hi, Deadly Crypto. You can say, yo, Deadly, I want you to take a look at EOS for me. You know, yo, Deadly, whatever the fuck you want to say. You don't have to wait for the stream. That way we can just jump into the stream and get into it. But hey, you know what? If you can't make it out before the stream and drop your suggestion, it's all good. Just make sure that you schedule those reminders so you get an alert whenever I do go live. That way you can come on down and be like, Deadly, check this shit out for me. Let me know. So that's it for this one, guys. Pretty much. Thank you guys for coming out. Let me see what our next event is. I have a guest talk with Decentralio tomorrow on Twitter. So we're going to be talking to one of the crypto bros on Twitter. And then next week, my next scheduled event is going to be a Deadly trading session. I've got another guest next week, but I have to get that one scheduled. So right now, I've already got a couple events scheduled. My Deadly trading session is the only one that I've got scheduled right now. But next week, I should have it. Once I'm going to confirm the time and venue, we'll have another guest coming on next week. But again, right now, that's not scheduled. So the next event that I do have scheduled is a Deadly trading session. And that's going to be Friday, September 16th. 1 hour earlier than we started today. So I don't know where you are in the world. It's going to be 1 hour earlier than we started today on the 16th of September. So thanks to all my supporters for coming here. We got G-Man, he made it out. Ricky Spanish made it out. Niaz was here in the beginning. And those are my supporters who made it out today. So shout out my supporters. Shout out my subscribers. Tell your boys, you know the deal. Give your goldfish an account. Get your dog an account. Have them subscribe to your boy Deadly Crypto. Because when we get to 2,500 subs, we're going to be doing a sick-ass giveaway. Giving away 2 months. 2 separate months. So, 2 separate people get 1 month each of 3 commas. Paid pro subscription. So you can test out those tools and features. See if it's right for you. Giving away a whole Litecoin and a tablet. I'm giving away a trading tablet for you guys to trade on. I don't have it here next to me, but we're giving away a trading tablet. Hopefully someone in the US wins that, so shipping doesn't cost me an arm and a leg. But we're giving some shit away. All we need is 2,500 subscribers. And then after we get, maybe 10K subs, we can give some more cool shit away. But let's get to 2.5K subs first. So thanks to all my people for coming out and watching the live broadcast. If you're watching the recorded session, you're a trooper as well. I appreciate you watching this. Shout out Vitamin Water. Hopefully maybe one day we can get a sponsor from him. And until then, I'll see you next time, guys. Toodaloo. Bye.